Yeah. What is up, everybody? It is the aftermath on Bucs Report. You have AJ Turnup, aka Buff Curry. We are here and with the guest, our good guy Slick right here, the analyst, the guy who knows how to break it down. It's a glorious Monday. This is what I call, a monster Monday because we got the job done. We didn't do it the way we want to, but a win is a win in the NFL. And we are gathered here today to talk about the glory, the beauty, and the ugly of the Buccaneers and where we go from here.
Absolutely, because it wasn't as clean as a win that we won. We won it in the last 9 seconds.
That's right.
We probably would have been able to get off from that point, maybe 1 to 2, between 1 and 3 plays if they needed to, depending on how quick they were or how long the ball was held on to.
Yeah.
I did hear that the play that was called was actually chosen by Tom Brady.
Yes, it was. I tweeted that. It was reported. And I'm here to tell you, I'm not surprised. And I know that hug and embracing was nice. Look, I'm telling you guys have heard, this is my hot take. Munich is Byron's last chance.
He's going to put the offense on the map.
Yeah, it's his last chance. And here's why. It's going to go deeper than that. Remember, the NFL is still a business. They're going to another country. The Glazers do not want to see this team lay an egg. If they come out with this same type of offense, that's not good business. That's not what the people want to see, a consistent team with progression. People want to see designs and they want to be entertained. Of course, winning is more important, but if you come out flat with this roster and you still have Brady, who's a beloved figure in Germany, same as the Seahawks, but you come out flat like this and Brady has to take over, I think because we're going into the bye week, they'll pull the plug. They'll get someone from Byron's staff to step up. So Byron has a lot riding on this, and I hope he's aware of that. That's just me. I think this is his last shot because even if they win, but if it's ugly, now you have the Glazers thinking, they might think, well, wait a minute. I don't know, because we can't continue to win like this. We're not going to always get a team that's not there.
Yeah.
Let's be real. The Rams they're not a threat anymore. They're not.
No.
So I'm hoping we win, but it's a catch-22 because if, let's say, Byron calls an average game, he'll keep his job.
Yes, for sure. This is the way I look at it: is the Buccaneers did the same stuff that they've always done. There was nothing different in game planning or effort was the difference.
Yes.
From a defensive standpoint, offensively, we had moments that looked decent, and then we had moments that will look abysmal. But defensively, other than 2 large mistakes against one of the best wide receivers in football, or arguably the best wide receiver in football of last year, Cooper Kupp made 2 big plays. Look, that kind of stuff's going to happen. The Buccaneers settled down and kind of sorted that out, but they can't keep leaning on this defense. They just can't. It is proven time and time again. Even when the defense does play good, you can't you can't expect the defense to shut teams out forever and ever. Yeah, they stopped the Rams to 13 points, and they've done that to a couple of teams going in. So the Green Bay Packers, the Saints, the Atlanta Falcons to a degree, and then the first game of the season against the Cowboys, who are now way more explosive than they used to be. Some teams learn throughout the season. The Cowboys have learned. You can see that their coach had to step up and come up with something different because what they did against us was not good enough. So they did some things, they changed some things around, and they did it with a nobody quarterback, realistically. The Buccaneers still have I don't want to hear no excuses about no offensive line. there are plenty of plays out there that you can get away with a lackluster line. There are teams up and down football in football right now that have a worse line than us. There was a
Absolutely.
team last year that made it all the way to a Super Bowl while his quarterback was probably staring at scoreboards on his ass.
Yes. Oh,
But
I
that's
agree.
not an excuse.
No
That's not going to
excuses.
be.
Well, and people forget Brady's only been sacked 14 times through 9 games. That's actually impressive.
It's not
And
a bad
you're
thing
right.
to do.
With Leverett, Gedeke should not see the field for the rest of the season unless there's an injury. Leverett is doing his job. He's
Yeah.
doing what he needs to do. He's very serviceable, and I like that. But I agree with everything you just said. They're going to have to change it up. You cannot expect this defense to do that, especially we have to take in consideration with Shaq being gone. Better teams are going to better adjust. They're going to look at this game and say, what did they do to take care of the fact that they didn't have Barrett? Oh, you know what? We're going to learn. You don't ever put Vita Vea one-on-one. That was an insult. When he got that sack and that guy was, and they left Vita alone, I'm like, are you serious? And let's be real, Vita outshined Aaron Donald by far, and it wasn't close.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people this all the time. When Aaron's gone, Vita is the number one guy. He did everything. He that was one of the best games I've ever seen him take over. He gave me sap-like vibes. He
Yeah.
set the tone on the line, and that's what you're supposed to do. And I enjoyed that. Of
And I
course,
think the line fed off it too. I mean, Raheem
yeah.
Nunez Roach has got
Oh my
something.
God. I had never
You know,
seen him.
Avery got one. Whoever Gerard Avery is, big respect to him for getting his sack. I don't know if that's his first sack of his career. Probably not, to be honest, because they would have said that in the broadcast.
Yeah,
But there are guys, nameless guys. Or I say nameless, but guys not with the recognition eaten because of this.
you're right.
Because once you double at Vides, that means it's four on. It's 4 on 4. Well, we run a 4-3, so we still have two. We engage five every single time, 90% of the time.
Yep,
That means someone's squeaking through somewhere.
that's right.
And I
And
think Joe Tryon Shayinka actually played better versus the run this time. His pass
that's,
rushing was better. He didn't over pursue, which was probably his biggest criticism. He
yes,
just pursues. And I always said, me and you've discussed before, that just wish he had that twitchy step that he could just break back inside, because that would kill people. You have that as your second combo of what you can do. And
yes,
then you teach him the hand stuff to go along with that helps him.
yes.
And he has a spin move in there as well. He could be lethal because he has so much speed. It's going to make a tackle over pursue at some point. And then you go, I see what you're doing. You're
I
matching me speed for speed. That's fine. Watch this. Now I'm breaking back inside. Can you keep up with me?
and they can't. He has a unique build where he's strong, but he has a lanky strength to him. And shame on the refs for taking a sack away from him. He was not offsides. He read the timing perfectly. That was a Shaq Barrett-esque move that he did, but the refs called it offsides. I looked at it. The ball was off the snap. He just timed it very well. That was an excellent job. You're right. He's
Yeah,
getting
when they
better.
show in slow motion, it's not really fair because it's slow motion. We're talking of the 10th of the 10th of the 10th of the second.
Yeah, but
It's all
it was one of those things where it's like really I don't know, but he did very well. But I also like that he was getting dirty in the pass rush way. Like you say, he was bulldozing people. He wasn't trying
Mhm.
to just run around. I think he's getting better. I'm hoping Shaq Barrett is teaching him his ways, because one thing that made Shaq Barrett so good, he wasn't always the most physically gifted linebacker. He's a technician. So can
Mhm.
you imagine if Joe gets that technician down with his, like you said, he gets both of that, man, we will be in for a treat. And shout out to Carlton Davis. He was balling,
Yep.
making tackles. I
Maldine.
yeah,
Don't know if he Bunting had everyone on. No, there was no
yeah,
real weak. I think the biggest weakling was Keanu Neal, and
exactly. And that's what
he's
you
not
want
like
to
he
call him.
played extremely poorly. He
Oh
just wasn't as he was just not as good. Like if you were to rate him, you're probably giving him a 7.
yeah. Now the thing that pissed me off though was the lack of him not paying attention to Cooper. Anytime you see Cooper run a deep route, your initial thought should be it's going to him. And you saw
It should
Mike.
always be, because you gotta have that mindset. Everyone says, nothing cheap, nothing deep. So if you see someone going deep, it don't matter if he's the slowest, the
Exactly.
little guy. You're going, I'm blanketing this. I'm matching whoever the deep. If you're the safety, I mean, I don't know what the call was or what have you, but
Yeah.
if you're the safety and you've got deep coverage, whoever's got the deep coverage has to bail fricking as hard as he can to get there, because you are the blanket over the top. Because if you don't make it, guess what? You're either chasing a guy down and he's gaining a mega yards, or he's running it in for a touchdown.
Yeah, he's running it, and it was just awful. I could see Edwards pointing, and then when I saw Keanu pointing, I'm like, "Where the hell are you pointing? You're the last line of defense. What did you think was going to happen?" That is where we miss Antoine Winfield. Antoine Winfield would not have fallen for that. Antoine would have saw that. I honestly believe Antoine Winfield would have gotten an interception, or he would have shut down the play, because he would have been blanketing him. And if you look at it, Cup was playing, but I sensed a little bit of hesitation on his part. He wasn't trying to, because usually sometimes he'll bulldoze his
He
way.
didn't go off like he was supposed to go off. For sure.
Because I'm telling you, he did not want to get hit. And I could tell there were certain players. He didn't want Devin White to hit him. He didn't want Levante hitting him. He'll take the corners hitting him. It's just something that I can sense on offense, where I can see certain guys where it's like, okay, you're being cautious. But here's what gets me, though. Again, now we're going to go back to Byron. You see what McVay always finds a way to get Cooper Kupp the ball. How do you not do this with Evans and Julio?
I mean, this game you could argue that they tried to get Evans, but Evans kept dropping.
Yeah, I saw those 3 drops, but you got to maneuver. The drops were killing people. I don't understand what was going on. I know it was raining earlier, but it's no excuse. But the worst one was Scotty in that end zone. That was just, we all saw that. We all was like, come on, Scotty. That's a football 1-on-1. Why are you jumping? You had the guy beat.
Yeah, it wasn't a jumble catch.
Yeah, he didn't even see it coming. That's what made it so bad. The guy was, if you saw the defender, he had no clue. He was beat. And I think next game, the offense is really just going to have to, the receivers can't let Brady down, because they were letting him down. But again,
some work's got to go on in the lab. But we do have our first guest in. I'll bring in Rick Hughes, who got me into doing this kind of stuff. Rick, welcome to the show, brother. How are you?
Hey, guys. How are you?
We're doing good. We're feeling good. It's Victory Monday.
Excellent. Well, okay. Yes, it's Victory Monday, and I've always been the guy who says, listen, guys, be happy when you win.
Yeah.
Enjoy the fact that you win. All right. This show's called The Aftermath, so you're going to get what I really think. I'm always trying to stay positive. You're always hearing it from me. Well, I'm sick of it. All right. Here's the deal. I'm disgusted. I am disgusted. I'm over it. I'm tired of this. The Buccaneers did not win the game yesterday. The Rams lost the game. Okay, they didn't do the Buccaneers. What did the Buccaneers do? We dropped passes all over the place. Yeah. Our defense played well, but offensively, we were offensive. Okay, it was terrible. Mike Evans can't catch anything. What teams are we going to go up against where we can rely on? Okay, man, our offense is going to be Scotty Miller and. I mean, it's seriously K. Dotton. Okay, K. Dotton is the bright spot, second only to our punter. Okay, listen, guys, we didn't win this game. They lost it. We got lucky.
Yep.
Okay, somebody gave us a game.
Yep.
All right, and I'm tired of trying to toe the line. I'm tired of trying to be positive. I'm tired of always staying positive. I'm done. I'm sick of it. I'm pissed off. Okay, this team's got too much talent. I'm tired of the excuses of the offensive line. You know what? Yes, the offensive line needs work, but not as much as like we're playing. We're playing chicken shit football.
Yes.
We're afraid. Tom Brady is getting rid of the ball so fast. Too fast. All right. He's not letting routes develop. He's not letting the players do what they can do, because he's trying to get rid of the ball too fast. Guys, I love Brady. I'm glad he's our quarterback. I love this team, but we are playing like crap right now. And the fact that our defense bailed us out, the fact that, thank God, Akeem Hicks is back, because that's why Vita Vea did what he did. All right, because he wasn't alone on the line of scrimmage. All right, guys, the bottom line is this. This team cannot win much at all playing like they did. It was great. It was wonderful. Yay, go team. The good guys win. I'm happy about it. But the bottom line is this. We sucked and happened to come out on top on the score just because the other team sucked worse. All right. It's not a matter of us winning. They lost. Things have to change.
Absolutely. Rick, you are on it. I'm gonna just say, Rick, you sound like us. We're happy because that means the season.
We got a bit of celebrating. We get to enjoy something, but that did not take away that was a win. Like you said, it was kind of handed to us. Have you seen how Jalen Ramsey's reacted since?
Yeah, and I don't blame him. Listen, what the hell were the Rams doing trying to stop the run on that final play? We're the worst rushing team in football. They lined up to stop the run with 13 seconds left, like we were going to run the ball in that position. We were never going to run on that play.
No. Well, I honestly think, let's be real, I think that was due to arrogance. Let's be real. The Rams are a very arrogant team. You have Aaron Donald, who is arrogant. You have Jalen Ramsey, who is arrogant. You have Sean McVay, who's arrogant. And I tell everybody, attitude reflects leadership. You are what your coaching and your leaders do. McVay can be very cocky at times. I honestly think that they challenged Brady to beat them. That's why they had that soft cushion. Slick and Rick, they played like the Bucs defense normally does in cushion coverages, and they forgot. This is Tom Brady. He can still beat you.
But it's been Tom Brady all year when we can't score touchdowns, when we're getting stopped in the red zone.
It's been Byron Leftwich that the play calling is atrocious. Now, you watch the game, Rick. Why the hell are you doing run, pass, run, pass?
I agree. Listen, I agree. Awful. But here's the problem. When we're sitting here saying, oh, the Buccaneers win the Super Bowl, that's Tom Brady. Oh, the Buccaneers won this game, that's Tom Brady. Okay, great. The Buccaneers lose. Oh, that's Byron Leftwich. Well, what did I miss something here? Are they both playing? Are they both involved the whole time?
We got to separate the people who know the game. You know the game. Slick definitely knows the game. Shout out to the coach of the year right here. This guy, we know the game. We cannot allow the people on the surface to say that. Everybody knows, if you know football, when the Bucs won that Super Bowl, they won as a team. That defense gave Mahomes the business. The defense in the playoffs gave Drew Brees. They gave Aaron Rodgers the business. We know that. The problem is when Brady got there, a lot of the media is the one that says Brady is this and Brady is that. We know better. We know that. But again, we're going to hold coaching accountable because coaching is a part of the team as well. Remember, Arians helped win that Super Bowl with the Buccaneers. You can clearly see the difference of energy, creativity, and that is Byron's job. Byron's responsibility is to put his players in the best position. Rick, if you look at the game in the passing, when it was 3rd and long, why the hell are you throwing short routes? Why are you throwing it where the corners are right in front of you?
Yeah, my favorite thing on the planet. Oh, it's 3rd and 8. Let's throw a 5-yard pass. Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. But the thing is this, man. Byron Leftwich was the offensive coordinator during the Super Bowl. Byron was the offensive coordinator. Yeah, I know Bruce Arians with the red pen. Maybe that was a pretty important red pen. I don't know. But the bottom line is, it sure seems like there's more going on here. Mike Evans can't catch a pass. What's going on there? All right, I honestly believe it's that Tom Brady has not demanded his best this year. Therefore, he can't demand the best from everyone else.
But you do know he called that last play and he was running on the final drive. I honestly think Brady said, I'm taking over, because a previous episode of us, Rick, I told Slick, the guys who got to turn up on offense, I said Brady's going to have to turn up. I said Levante is going to have to turn up. And then I also said Otten would be the sleeper because the Rams are not going to take him serious. So I honestly think at that moment, Brady said, I got this shit. The thing is, we know sometimes Brady, he's a loyal person to a fault. Sometimes he'll argue with the coaches, but for the most part, he has also been known to go, hey, this is what the coaches say. So for the most part, I'm going to rock with it. But again, Brady always, for the most part, throughout his career, even in Tampa, as short as it's been, he has always been able to adjust. When can you say Byron adjusted? And for the most part, let's be real, Arians was calling the shots. Arians is trying to help Byron by giving him these credits, but you can tell already when it comes to when's the last time in Byron this entire season you've seen a no risk it, no biscuit? When's the last time you've seen multiple deep shots?
It's an entirely different offense, but listen, man, if you pull Antonio Brown and Rob Gronkowski off of any offense and then say, why aren't they playing the same? Well, come on. I mean, and then you're adding in no more Jensen and you're adding in no more Marpet. All right. Yeah, it's different, man. Alex Kappa's gone. You have different guys there. That's 5 people I just mentioned are no longer playing from the no risk it, no biscuit team. So you can't expect them to play the same. All right. One of the greatest route runners in history, and with AB, he's not there anymore. And Gronk, I don't even need to explain that. Okay, those guys are gone. You've got Godwin coming off of an injury. You got Mike Evans, who I just don't even know what to say about that. Let me ask you this. Let's do an over-under right now, right here. Let's all take bets. How many plays into the game is Mike Evans going to end up saying, oh, I'm hurt, and standing on the sidelines, acting like, oh, he's hurting, but he'll come back out and do it anyway? How many plays into the game is that going to be?
But to be fair, that catch that he got hurt, that was 3 defenders.
It's every game, man. It's every game.
I agree. This is
football. But you do realize most people in football are never 100%. That's very.
I get it, but you don't see everybody else walking around like this. Listen, Mike Evans is a big, strong wide receiver, but mentally, sorry guys, I'm about to get myself in trouble here. Mentally, I don't think Mike Evans is the strongest dude on the field. Okay, that's why he ends up always complaining to the referees constantly. That's why you see him getting in fights and getting suspended, because mentally he's not that strong. So when he dropped that one pass, the deep pass from Brady on the 3rd play of the game or whatever a couple games ago, he's not the same since then. Why? Mentally now he's doubting. He's got other crap going on in his head. He's not the same Mike Evans because he doesn't have the mental discipline. He never has.
I don't know about that, man. Like, he has been the heart and soul. To me, he's a wide receiver, Rondé Barber. He leads more by action and not words. See, that is another issue because he is more of a silent guy. He's not recognizable. But let's be real. If Evans didn't play for the Buccaneers and these numbers were in Green Bay or something, he would get more recognition.
He's amazing. He's physically amazing. If you're a Bucs fan and don't love this guy, something's wrong with you. Yeah, but that doesn't mean we sit here and stick our head in the sand. Just like you don't stick your head in the sand with Byron Leftwich, don't do it with Mike Evans.
No, we don't. But Mike Evans, you got to look at it like this too. He's also doesn't. Here's the thing: big guys like that. The league have their own thing, and you know this because certain players will get certain calls and certain don't. When Marshawn Lattimore is on him, he's holding him half the damn time. But when Evans uses his strength and throws his little ass to the side, then they throw the flag. So they have a bias in that instant because I'll tell you, here's another one that, and you can tell refs and players in the league sometimes favorite things. Did you see when Jalen Ramsey took his helmet off on that 4th down? Why the hell he didn't get a penalty, but DJ Moore got a penalty last week by the same officiating crew, and that cost them the game. Why is it when Travis
Aaron Donald did it in the Super Bowl, didn't he? He took his helmet off, and they did Colton Davis for doing it. They've done Levante David for doing it.
Yes, Travis Kelce damn near took off the head of a Titans guy, and they called interference on him. So remember, that can be frustrating, Rick. Like Ryan Jensen knows refs are looking at him to get a sportsmanlike conduct penalty. So when you are a target, and when it comes to Mike Evans not being tough, do you remember the last game against the Rams in Tampa where
mentally tough. I
grabbed
said.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, Rick.
I said mentally.
I
I didn't
exactly what
say
you're saying.
physically.
He does get banged up. He has a little limp off the field. 5 minutes, you see them working on him, and he's straight back out there. I think he's just got the equivalent amount of it. He just wants a little bit of attention, and then he'll be back right. I said my wife has him on her fantasy team, and she was like, "Oh God, he's injured." I said, "Babe, he gets injured every freaking play.
Yeah.
He'll be back on."
That's exactly right. Just watch it. It'll happen next game. I promise.
Goes in a play.
You'll
Injured.
see him whining on the sidelines. He'll miss one play, and then he'll come out and do just fine. Thank you very much.
Lovely, saying, "I'm not going to quit on this team and go back out there." What we're going to do?
Yeah, Rick. There's no receiver. The greatest receivers in the history of the game, for the most part, have a feed me. I got to get this right. We don't have that same energy for Jerry Rice. Why? But Jerry Rice cried a lot. Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, all
I hear you, but they also didn't get in fights and get suspended because listen, you can pick and choose the parts you want to apply, but the thing is now all of a sudden since that one dropped pass, Evans has had problems catching the ball the last couple of weeks. All right, this is what it is. He's got an issue going on in his head. All right, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. And you've seen him get suspended because he got in fights on a couple of occasions because he couldn't keep his cool. You've seen him get flags thrown for unsportsmanlike conduct multiple times, especially going after the refs, saying stuff to the refs. Things happen. Listen, man, I love Mike Evans. Love Mike Evans. I'm a longtime Buccaneers fan since day one. How do you not like Mike Evans? I think the guy could be in the Ring of Honor while he's still playing, okay? The guy is Mr. Buccaneer at this point. He's more Buccaneer maybe even than Mike Allstott, okay? And that doesn't happen very much, okay? He's taking pay cuts so other people can, he's restructuring his contract. He's doing this, doing that for others. No doubt. I love me some Mike Evans, but that's not the strongest dude mentally on the team and emotionally. And he's got to get his head together and catch the damn ball. All right. And Brady's got to stop playing like he's afraid every single snap and let the routes develop. You can't throw every pass under 10 yards and then wonder, well, why is our running game not so good? Because the freaking DBs can play up on the line.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You're only going to have to drop 5 yards.
Yeah, exactly. All right. I'm done bitching. I'm done moaning. I'm going to go listen to your show. Thanks for having me.
No, it was a pleasure, Rick. Pleasure, Rick.
Have a good one.
You
too,
too,
man. Much appreciated.
Yes, much appreciated. Man, I understand his frustration. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but the plays, again, they still have to develop. Like you know this. Again, where are the crossing routes? The linebacking core on that team, they didn't have to move that much when you watched in the early beginning. They knew what we were doing. There was a
lot of that stuff involved just going deep down the field. There's a lot of vertical passing concept. There's no in and out breaking. There's no real big in and out breaking routes. Even on the drive that we scored the touchdown, a lot of those were just straight up running and then turn, straight up running, and there was no real. I want to see posts. I want to see seam routes. I want to see all the stuff that you can do to a team. And the Buccaneers route tree to learn from a wide receiver position seems very simplistic.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the issue is, again, no creativity. They have no creativity. If you think about it, it was just
slants. Give me a slant because they're so hard to defend.
Yeah, something, because there was a play where the guy almost picked Brady off when he was throwing it to Godwin. I was like, the guy, he literally just knew it. He didn't have to second guess. He knew where it was going. And that's what gets me about, Byron a lot. See, I think the problem is when we don't think of coaches as much because we see the players, but the coach's duty is to know the game. Their duty is to be able to size things up. You know this. You got to be able to go, okay, this is what's working and this is what's not. And most fans, they only know from the players. They're not looking at the game like we do. Like, okay, hey, I understand this is looking like this, but you got to understand what you put out there, what you're telling your product to do. That comes from the calls, the shot callers. Mm-hmm. If you're calling shitty plays, like this, if your team is built on running and you want to pass, that's your fault. You are holding your team back. I understand a lot of fans, they don't get that yet, but they will, because I tell people, go watch other teams. And they don't have nowhere near as much as talent, but they're winning by example because their coaches. Look at the Vikings. The coach believes in his players. The coach is out there riding for his players. And I love that. When you ride for your team, you can see the difference. You got somebody called him Kirk Thuggins. He is out there on the plane dancing in a chain. And I love it. I love that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That was cool. They're 7-1. So the Bucs just have to get back to that. And there's got to be those hard conversations. There's got to be where the Glazers go, Byron, what's going on here? Somebody in film needs to go, hey, why would you continue to do the same predictable plays? You know, you got guys like Slick out there that know the stuff better than you do. Well, what's going on?
I think the problem is there's no one holding him accountable.
Nope.
Because I believe one of the biggest things that Coach Bowles struggled with when he was in the Jets is he played with the offense too much. He's even admitted this. And he was like, I'm just going to leave the offense alone. And that's what another thing why Buccaneers fans were kind of excited, because they were like, wow, this is going to be like the brainchild of Tom Brady and Byron Leftwich. We're going to end up with this superstar offense. Because look, if Byron didn't consult build that playbook with Tom Brady, then shame on him for not using someone of that caliber. If he did, then some of the discredit has to go to Tom Brady as well.
Yeah.
However, he's the one calling the play live. So you can I'm sure there's plenty of stuff in that playbook that's really nice and that's really useful. That's really good stuff. And some of those plays that they did even used in the game were probably useful in a time and place.
Yeah.
They probably can be used. And this is the thing. When a team is doing good and you're having success, you can draw upon that while of using that same old play because it's successful. But if you're beating a dead horse and expecting it to get up and ride a Kentucky Derby, it's not going to. It's going to just lie there, and you're just stoving its head in, and blood's going everywhere.
Yeah.
And everyone's disgusted.
Oh man, the boos. My cousin was there. He said they were raining boos every time they ran because the defense, it was just like, you're not doing nothing for your offense. And what are you doing? And like you said, you can damn near cause a locker room issue with that. Did you see Jalen Ramsey's his comments about he basically put his
they only had to get a first down and the game was done. That's all they had to do. They didn't have to try and get anything extra out of it. It was a first down and the game is done.
I was thinking, wow, you're 3-4. You don't and their division, they need to win because they're too many.
Seattle's running away with it at the moment.
Right.
So it's for us, at least we don't have to with the division leaders right now, just from winning a game.
Yep.
You know, we pipped 3 games and we're still in the division as the top dog. They need to hope that other teams lose and that they win to climb the ladder. I don't know if they're in last, but I think they'll be second to last place. But
they're second to last. Yeah, they're not looking good. They're not looking good at all. And
I had a little look at our future, and I was like, well, what can the Buccaneers realistically do looking to win win the division? Now, I know when I was talking to a lot of Buccaneers fans, a lot of people said 11 and 6 was probably where we're going to be. And a lot of people said, well, I think you're being a little bit pedestrian. It's a little bit. That was one of my calls as well. But that's kind of looking at where we're looking to hit 11 and 6, which means at this rate, the Buccaneers can afford to lose 1 to 2 games realistically to be a playoff contender with an actual intent to go and win, depending on where everyone else ends up, because there's still a lot of infighting going on, and there's no clear division winners yet. I mean, we're going to probably argue that the NFC East is probably the biggest contender right there. They may have 3 teams come out of their division for sure.
Yeah.
And then everyone else is kind of fighting. But it's not easy. It's not going to be an easy one. And I think the Buccaneers, all they need is a home playoff game, and it could just generate some momentum. Look, I'm hoping that they're holding shit back, because if this is all we're getting, Jesus Christ, we're going in for a long ride. I'm hoping that they're sitting on something. I'm praying to God they're sitting on something, because right now, or they're holding shit back, because right now, if that's the best we can do, we're probably not going to do anything in the playoffs. It's not just the running that's the problem. It's running it the same way every single time.
Yeah.
You can run the football. There are teams out there that are run first. Look at and are successful, and some of them not so much. But you look at the Titans last year, not this year, but last year. They're a run first team.
Yep.
Why? Okay. Granted, they got one of the greats of this generation at the moment in their team. However, they're creative on how they give him the football.
Yeah.
It's off tackle. It's off let. It's a counter. It's a fake jet sweep. It's a jet sweep, and then it's not a jet sweep. It's a fake jet sweep. It's a dive play, and then it's different blocking schemes within that, and that allows you to be creative in your run game, which means it's not the same old fit. If I've just got to spit the same old thing in the run, then it's not as difficult, because I can adjust to that so much easier, because I've got nothing else to adjust to. You haven't given me the counter punch. I don't have to think about anything else, because all I got to do is they're going to run it up strong side A. Well, then I'll just double whammy the strong side A. I'll send a blitz down it, and then you're going to have to respect it. Now, luckily, sometimes you'll have your running back will bounce out and he'll avoid it, and he'll go down the strong side B, or he'll turn to the weak side A. That will happen, but not every time, because eventually I'm going to hit home, and more often than not, I'm going to hit home. And that's when your runs are being busted on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Leonard Fournette would have a lot more love if there was more creativity in the run game, because there are times he goes on a run for about 13 yards, 8 yards here, 8 yards there, and then he gets the -3 yards and the -3 yards and to the line of scrimmage ones. That's the problem. You need to clean those up so you have more of the bigger play stuff.
Yeah, and again, you were right. You got to get creative. You know who else runs the ball creatively? The Browns. Look at Nick Chubb. Look at what he does. Look at how they compliment him in the line. Really, like, they switch it up. Again, it's all about creativity. Like you said, it was just I was literally accusing Byron of sabotage. I'm like, are you trying to do this to be spiteful? You're just calling the same thing. And when you're not taking advantage of the donkeys. The donkeys of the Rams defense was the damn linebackers.
The linebackers, get to the second level, work it out so you can get guys to the second level, so you can start really attacking them.
Yes, when Otten ran that seam, he ran right past the linebackers, and they didn't.
The linebackers just sit like this.
Yes, they don't have to
do this. I want them to do this. I want them to get into their drops. I want them to move, and then you can manipulate it. But when you just have it, they can just sit there like that, because everything's either underneath, is either just over the top of them so they can still pick it, or it's just underneath. Then they don't need to move, and then you're not making them do any real work. And who are their linebackers again? I've never heard of them.
Exactly. I forgot their names. They're donkeys. I just call them the donkeys. You said, they're the donkeys because, like you said, when they knew the assignment, they just stood there. But on that last drive, you could literally see them, and drives before that, when they had to move, they were lost, and they had no chance. And again, what makes me mad is that the media's misinterpretation. They're just holding the players accountable, but I have yet to hear Stephen A. or Booger McFarland or Keyshawn and all these guys talk about the coaching staff in a way they go, well, why are you calling these plays? Why are you doing this when you have these type of people on your squad? Because a lot of people wanted to say, there was somebody said Aaron was dominating all night. I'm like, what game were you watching? Aaron had 1 sack, and that was it. But that's another frustrating thing. People don't look at it. The line did a fantastic job to have Aaron Donald to do only 1 sack, 1 sack, and he did a batted down pass, but that's it. The line is doing their job. Again, now this is where Brady has got to, like you said, sometimes let the routes go. He does sometimes just gets, I'm just gonna throw it away really quick. But again,
then why not have your play design work to that advantage? Exactly. So you have two short guys that your second or your second and your third read, but your primary read is a developing route.
That's right.
And if you don't get it, you've got the dump off.
You got the dump off, yeah. And
Because that's
again,
what he used to do. He used to go to the dump off last. He'd sit back, he'd scan, he'd look.
Yep.
It's not there. Boom, Leonard Fournette.
he sure
Now
did.
it's just automatically straight to Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, and also they didn't do enough chipping. I saw Leonard out there way too much in passing when a simple chip would have kept a play alive a lot longer. They were so busy trying to get him out there in the pass so he can do the check down. But sometimes chip him, like use him as a chip. Or if you're not going to do that, as you said, use somebody to where Brady doesn't have to do that. And I guarantee you, because again, the media doesn't watch enough of the Bucs. They're just making assumptions. Older receivers can't get separation. Yeah, they do. They get a lot of separation. However, Brady doesn't let the plays develop.
Yeah, he's rushing through it, and I think that's the problem with the offense right now is the offensive line isn't great. I would say it's just about average.
Yes,
but then it's not being helped by poor play design.
Exactly.
Now, I don't know if that's the problem. Maybe the poor play design because the guys are up front. I mean, I disagree because there's only technically two guys who aren't as experienced on the line. The rest of them know it or should know it. You know, you've got a big, renowned veteran on the other guard, and then you've got two guys who are kind of figuring shit out. I don't think that they don't know anything other than their one run play. They've got to know more stuff than that. They've just got to.
You're a professional. You should know at least four. I agree. I just think it's poor execution and poor play calling. Again, on that fourth down when Brady got sacked, they literally left the middle of the field wide open. Why didn't you have a play where someone literally runs in the slot?
Mm-hmm.
You put Scotty or Perriman in there, it's over. Mm-hmm. It's literally he wouldn't even have to. He could do a lob, and that's a first down easily.
Again, let me tell you what I like with Scotty Miller. You put him in the slot, and you play him with a few hitches. Keep him with a few hitches, and they'll bite on those hitches eventually. And then you let him go. He's not deceptively fast. He is fast.
Like
So he does a stop and go. Gone.
And did you see Ramsey? That's why he backed up. I told a lot of people, Ramsey knew that he couldn't keep up speed for speed. That's why he backed up. But his biggest mistake was he gave him too much cushion. A guy like Scotty, if I'm Ramsey, you're supposed to be this number one guy. Your objective was to at least give him a little press, or you gave him way too much space. I just think the Rams were arrogant on their defensive side. They said, we don't believe in Brady because he hasn't been doing it all game. But this is where it gets, I say, how much of it did Brady call? Because as you can see, the tempo was different. The style.
Tempo, this is what we're meaning, though. We see the Buccaneers team, and they have these moments where they go, when we got the field goal towards the end, and there's been these usually happen towards the end of the game. Start of the fourth quarter. Well, and every drive in the fourth quarter is usually a little bit faster with a bit more zip. Last plays, the last drive that we have in the second quarter, and then obviously the last drive of the game, and we look a lot sharper. Why are those? When you sit back and you evaluate this game as a play caller, as the offensive coordinator, and as the quarterback, which plays were your ticks? Well, they're going to be all the plays that you had when you played up tempo. So why aren't those plays added into the mix? Because there was different play calling going on. That drive where we scored, there was different plays and different personnel. They got a bit more creative. That's what they need to look at and go, wow, we've shot up the field. Every single drive that they've shot up the field and scored. The one on the first drive against the Ravens.
Yeah.
Yep. The one against the Ravens. Some of the stuff that they used against the Kansas City Chiefs, that's good stuff. That's good film. Take that and then go, right, how can we put this into a play package? How can we put this into a cooling system and then put it out there?
Amen.
Because there are plays that work because it's been proven.
Yep.
And they're plays that we don't see on a regular basis.
No, it's like, where the hell are you at? It's like, come on, man.
Why? And this is what I mean. Are we saving these for a rainy day? There's not going to be a rainy day if you keep holding on to stuff. This is not the time. Maybe I'm hoping to God, if we don't see an improvement by December, because that's when you got to get hot. You got to get hot in December. that means there was nothing in the tank. That means they were showing us everything from day one, and that's even more. That would really make me think, yeah, Byron's got to go.
No, that's why I'm hoping I'm right on this one. I'm hoping Munich is the last point. I hope where there's options where it's like, okay, Byron, I hope this is where I hope the Bucs do win, but I hope they win it to where the Jason Light
the Buccaneers actually won it. Like,
yeah,
there was an offense.
But they win it. But I still want Byron gone because I'm scared for Byron in the playoffs if we get there. But I hope they go, yeah, you did win, but that was more of the players doing their thing. You don't have what it takes to take it to the next level. We have to let you go. We have to get somebody in here with creativity. That's the kind of, I want us to win by a decent amount, but I want the Glazers and Light to go, yeah, but you're not the guy that we need in the playoffs, because as you said, the playoffs is going to be a different animal. It's going to be a different animal. Now, here's a blessing in disguise. If you think about it, how many NFC teams, honestly, though, do you really think, if let's say if the Bucs just got their shit together and they start doing better, I don't see, there's only 2 teams in the NFC that I go, they can give us some go. We can beat everybody else.
If we were playing like we were playing last year, which we're not, I would say the only team is the Eagles.
Maybe, and look at what we did to them. Because
yeah, but they were nowhere near the team that they were. Yeah. They completely revamped their team. But there's some old blood there. There's a little bit of doubt maybe. When you go up against a guy, when a guy has that revenge game, there's only 2 ways it's going to go. He either stands up for it and he's like, I'm getting my revenge, or he goes into himself and forgets. Well, let's go through some of these comments because we have neglected the people in the comments, and I think we've got a couple. Yeah. So, Bucs school gang in the house, victory Monday, punter MVP. Yeah. And rightfully so. Some of those punts were really nice. Special teams as a whole has actually been pretty decent. It's not been amazing, but the punting and the kicking has been pretty good, pretty darn good, and we can't complain with what we got. Spent a 3rd round pick on him so far, looking good.
Hell yeah.
Bucs playoff, here we come. You know what? Why not? You can believe it. I believe the Buccaneers are going to make the playoffs until they don't.
Yeah,
I believe the Buccaneers can win every game until they don't.
Right. If my mindset. If they go in Munich and they take care of business, that puts me at ease. You're at 500, so you can build from there. So I agree.
And for me, I think the thing that I always found with the Buccaneers that's really disappointed me was when we beat the Saints. That should have been your catalyst. That should have been like, now no one can beat us. You finally got to beat the team that you could not beat when you were a super team, when you had the BA, you had the AB, you had Gronk, and you couldn't put in points up against them. You just couldn't do. You just fell completely flat.
Agreed.
Completely flat. And then you go and win that game. The confidence level after that game, I would have thought the team was like, we can run through a brick wall, come out with the Super Bowl trophy still in our hands.
Yeah.
And then some. But it didn't seem to go that way.
No. And
Byron Leftwich saved job after win. We don't know. I believe what AJ thinks. I'd have left it to the bye week anyway, because at the end of the day, if you weren't going to get rid of him after the Ravens game, you're going to have to wait to the bye week anyway, because you need time for the new coach, not the new coach, but the guy who's acting offensive coordinator. He's got to come in and do his thing, and he's probably going to need some time. Weeks would be better than days, but you're not going to have that. Having an entire week and then some on top, then that can really help you out. It makes a difference for sure. You're almost going 2 weeks with some time in your pot. You're going close to 13 days.
Yep.
You can figure shit out. I probably wouldn't do it until then anyway.
Exactly. Agreed.
We sign OBJ and get over the hump now?
Hell
OBJ
no.
is still injured.
Yes.
Why are people talking about this? He's not. You know why he's not signed by a team? Because he's still injured.
Stop this. Y'all guys got to stop. OBJ is a good wide receiver, but he's I don't get the love that people have for him. Again, I just think it's because
Living
of
off hype.
he's hype. He is the popular guy, but that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Hell no, we don't need him. You want to really make me jump up? What if they say Gronk says he's coming back?
Oh, for sure.
Then that's what
the only thing I have with Gronk coming back is he won't be in football shape.
No.
And it will probably take him a while. But if he were to come back now, you could probably get him into football shape by about mid-December.
Exactly. But also he can give knowledge of the game. He can teach.
That's why I wished if he was going to retire, he retired early and maybe could come and help out with the coaching and really help push this Arden kid a bit more forward. But I don't think mentoring is really Gronk's vibe.
No, but I mean, it was just.
It's what we want as fans, because if you could just get him in that same vein, because it hasn't rubbed off. It never rubbed off on OJ Howard. You'd have thought OJ Howard was sat there taking notes.
I agree with you 100%.
And maybe he did, but I don't know. Maybe Gronk just did something that no one else can do.
I think it was piss poor coaching, because again, when you have all those weapons at your disposal, again, I'm an offensive minded guy. Slick, I'm having fun. I'm throwing shit out there where you're going to go, oh, this dude think he's playing a video game. I'm like, yeah, and you're about to get scored on. Again, can you imagine a OJ and Mike Evans on the outside, especially in the red zone? Pick your poison. 265 dudes, and I had Gronk back then, and I had Brate. Okay, take your shot. Take your shot. So, again, it's all about creativity. But, guys, OBJ, we don't need him. There's a reason. A guy like that, if he was healthy, he'd have been signed to a team. Guys, that's just TV stuff. Don't
It is TV. It is exactly what you just said. It's TV stuff, and he's making a big deal about it. And to be honest, to me, it just paints him as a mercenary, that he's just going to pick the greatest team that he can go to. He ain't going to Green Bay, even though Green Bay probably really, really could do with his help. He's going to go with someone who probably could do with his services. That means he can probably get a starting position, because you've got to remember, even if he does come here, he's got to learn that playbook. And everyone has said he's going to come back. If he does come back, it's probably going to be towards the end of November. So that's in about 3 more weeks, maybe 2 more weeks, that he will probably be signed to a team. Yeah. Right? So that's 2 weeks from now. Yeah. Then he's going to spend at least a week learning the playbook before you really put him into the game. Because let's face it, he's going to need some time. You can put him in on a couple of play designs here and there, but realistically, he's not going to have that playbook down until about 2 or 3 more weeks, at least 3 more weeks on top of the time that you signed him. So now we're mid-December. He then has to start climbing into the depth chart. So he's going to start from the bottom and work his way up. That's guaranteed. Now, I'm sure surely he'll knock a few people off in practice, and he'll knock a few more people off. But he'll probably be at that 3rd, 4th wide receiver mark by about the end of December. And it depends on who's in front of him. You come to Tampa, and Chris Godwin gets hot, then he'd probably be wide receiver number 3.
And he's still got to get in the football shape. People forget.
Still got to get in football shape. Because you can't do all the cuts. You can't do all the shit that you're supposed to be doing. You've just been sat with not a cast on, but with a brace on. There's only so much you can do.
He would need 3 to 4 games to get back into that 3 to 4.
End of December then.
Yeah,
pretty much.
That's my opinion. 3 to 4 for someone like him. 3 to 4.
He's coming back to join a team in the playoffs so he can win another Super Bowl ring, or try to win a Super Bowl ring.
And
he's smart. He goes Ravens.
Exactly. And I just don't want that. We don't need that, guys. If anything, let me know if there's a pass rusher out there that wants to be on this team. I'll take that. Give me a linebacker that has potential to get to we need somebody on defense to help us.
Yeah.
Or if there's a lineman out there who's dissatisfied and we need depth, trust. And I'm telling y'all, what if Jensen comes back in like December? Because he's got to get into football shape.
That's what I mean. Everyone's talking about Jensen being back, and I say he's got to get back into football shape too. Like it's going to take time. Like, yes, we all remember the Vita Vea story where Vita Vea gets injured and then he comes back in time, and it was a great story for us. But not every player can do that.
No. And
I can't remember what the exact injury was as well off the top of my head, but certain injuries would limit how much work you can do. If you've got a wrist injury, let's say you've got an ankle injury, there's only certain workouts you can do. You got a knee injury, but if you got a neck injury, you can still do all the footwork. You just can't go on the field because potentially you could break your neck,
exactly,
or for whatever reason. So,
Agreed.
or you got a torn rotator cuff, but you can still do all the footwork stuff. So when you only have to work on one part of your game that's maybe gone to hit the dust a little bit. And I think that's the thing. I don't think we need to sign OBJ. I don't think the Buccaneers have the money realistically to sign him an offer that he wants. And I've also heard that he wants a multi-year contract. He doesn't want to.
Yeah, no. The answer is no. Good luck somewhere else. OBJ.
How would you feel if you're a Buccaneers wide receiver, and again they go for another player that's past their prime, because he is past his prime? His injuries will never. The injuries that he's got, I don't see him hitting the marks that he had when he was with the Giants. I just don't see that happening. And then you're a Mike Evans, and you got to share reps, and I'm sure Mike Evans is fine with it. But there's a part of him thinking, why do they need to keep bringing these saviors in? We're already here.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. I'm sorry, I'm a big Mike Evans guy. That's my dude. Thanks. I think he's mentally stronger than what people think. I just think, unfortunately, how the media, if they don't get to know your business, they make their own, skeptics of you and how you are and what you are. And that's why I don't. And what's funny? A lot of ex-Bucs players, the ones that did a terrible job, I'm calling you out, Keyshawn, they love to try to change the narrative on the Bucs and say what certain things. And it's like, dude, be quiet. Like Keyshawn, I hate when he talks about the Bucs. It's like, my man, you thought you were an elite receiver when you were just above average. Stop making these stupid examples of the Bucs aren't doing this. And another person, Booger McFarland, he's out here saying the receivers aren't getting separation. And it's like, Booger, these guys, I want to ask them, are you watching the highlights or are you actually watching the game? Me and you, we watched.
Hey, what did we see What did we see yesterday? A lot of drop passes. That means there were balls that were completable. So even if Mike Evans splits the difference, well, he can't split the difference on 3, but let's say it's 4, he gets 2 of those catches.
Yep.
We could be talking a completely different game.
Exactly.
And if everyone was to complete one more pass that they should have caught, we could be talking about a team that, I wouldn't say completely unloaded, but could have been up by 2 touchdowns.
Oh, agree. I think if Winfield plays, turnovers will happen. Because
we ain't had many of those.
No,
we might have been giving them away, but we're not exactly picking them up either.
No, and Levante, you can tell his age is catching up, sort of, but he's still the man.
But fast. He's not as powerful as he used to be.
Right, but when he dropped that pick, I was like, no.
That's why he's a linebacker, mate.
That's a pick 6. If he catches
and he would get those. He used to get those.
I tell people, you know what? That's why I still have hope for this team, because I think it's gonna be a change. It's a rumble. Like that game is something will snap into them, because now what I think now, if the offense can just be average, the defense is gonna go, yes, we have a shot. What you don't want to do, because that's what's happening to the Rams. They're imploding within. I guarantee you there's a lot more problems in that locker room than we'll ever know. For Jalen to say the shit that he said, that's like, okay, you're throwing your squad under the bus. And
he threw him under the bus, but literally everyone else agreed with him. So it wasn't like the good thing about it. And McVay said, what did you hear what McVay said? He said it starts with me.
Yeah, it
starts with me. And I like that accountability.
Yeah, I think McVay is finally realizing, damn, you really got to, when your talent drops, and this is what Bowles needs to understand, when your talent isn't there anymore, or when certain keys are gone, you have to adjust. You have to do the next man up.
I think that the biggest thing that they've lost is offensive line.
Oh yeah, but that hurts. But that's where you
for sure.
That's where you
absolutely,
because Stafford and them, their offense they were the Bucs. They were literally mirroring us. I was like, damn, y'all have no intensity. Y'all.
How we lost games was how they were losing the game. And
I was like,
God.
damn. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like when Cup slid, I understand like he didn't want to get blown up, but damn, if he falls,
he lets that go and he does get blown up, he's probably got the first down.
Right. That or the at least 3rd and 1. Because when he slid, I'm like, there was nobody near him.
And you can do a lot more on 3rd and 1 than you can do on 3rd and 5.
Exactly. When I saw Cup run, I'm thinking, oh my God, that's a first down. Game over. But then when he slid, I'm like, yes. I was like, he was not trying to.
And everyone got upset because they got, but he was closer than you think. It's like, no, he went down on purpose at a certain point in time. And as soon as his knee's down, that's where he's declared himself.
And he played scared. I told everybody, I think Cup did not want to get blown up. If you look at him last year, he was completely different. After this injury, he's going through the Chris Godwin thing where it's mental, where it's like, I don't want to put myself in a position where I further hurt myself, because now if he would have got the first down, he'd have got blown up because he was going to get rocked. He was going to get rocked.
For sure. But he would have got the first down and probably won the game.
Exactly. But
hey, we can only fantasize.
Right. We're just thankful he didn't. So now the Bucs.
Yep, we'll take that.
I'll take it. Thank you.
We almost lost the game. Yep, we almost
lost.
Look, all they had to do was get a first down. That's all they had to do. Or they had plenty of times they could have killed that game off for us, just like when we've had plenty of times to come back against teams and we've not done it, or when we've been holding on to a lead and then we end up giving it up.
Yeah, no,
but it didn't happen. We got ours. We go on. Hopefully there's a bit of juice in this team. But the only thing I can say is that defense turned up a lot better than we expected. 13 points against the Rams. We know they're not as powerful as they used to be, but it's something to get you started. Right. It's something to sink your teeth into.
Yeah, they did their job. They did what they were supposed to do, because let's say if they would have given up 20-something points, we'd have been like, well, damn, what happened to this defense? The defense is doing their part, and I was proud. And Devin White, he played like he played much better, and I love that I think in a way the criticism, he took it to a level where he didn't let it dog him. He motivated himself, and now he's like, hey, he probably would never admit to it to us, but it probably made him go, damn, I do need to like make sure that I come out there with intensity and don't look like I'm loafing, and we got to take advantage, because I was still kind of pissed when we were down. Some of the teams where they were talking trash. I'm like, all right, guys, I only like to see that when you're up by 2 to 3 touchdowns. Then you can talk all.
I think it's just part of their demeanor, though. I think that's not going to change. I think that's just the way that defense runs. And in the modern day NFL, I think that's pretty normal now. They always do that thing where they run to the goal line and they kind of do something and pose or whatever. But I think it's mainly because on offense there's a lot more moments where you can kind of show off a little bit, whereas in defense there's not so much, unless you get a sack, and even then you're not supposed to like kind of, I wouldn't say gloat, but like kind of show off or anything like that. So tackles for a loss and things like that. I think it's just defense just trying to, and sometimes that energizes everyone else, because you make that play and you're like on fire for a moment, and everyone else is like, I want one too. So they all it kind of juices everyone up. So
to that extent, I do want that. I just want to see more.
Mm-hmm. What you don't want to see is the dancing and acting like they're having a good time. But yeah, when you make a play, enjoy it.
Yeah,
enjoy it, but just don't overdo it, because you're going to end up looking like a clown if they got. Right. Remember, all this stuff is on tape, so there's going to be a video. Someone's going to make a meme of you going when you're up by a point, and it's going to be someone dancing around doing ring around the fucking roses, and then 5 minutes later, it's like when you're down by fucking 25 points, and you've got your head in your hands.
Yes,
someone will make that meme or that GIF. It will happen.
Oh yeah! On my YouTube video, I got the picture of my man of the Rams with his head down, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every minute of it. I enjoyed that shit. Nothing. I cannot stand the Rams. So
my least favorite team. One of my least favorite teams too.
I just was like this, and just seeing their heads go down. I'm like, good. And seeing McVay have to eat some humble pie, I was like. Yeah, I'm like,
he probably thought he had that game.
Yeah, because he's the wonder guy. He's like, I'm like, yeah, bust
Yeah,
your
he's
ass down.
that smart. Was it every time there's a national broadcasting game, or to be fair, any game that they're playing, they talk about how genius he is and how smart he is, and he's obviously not stupid because he's one of the youngest NFL coaches. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's obviously not dumb. He really has helped change that Rams team around from being an 8-18 to being a bit more of a, Super Bowl eligible team. But
Yeah,
at the end of the day, they lost the game. We won it. We go on to Munich now and see if we can get another one. This is a big one, so if we get that, could really. But I think what you said, we need a statement win, and we haven't had a statement win yet. Our biggest statement win was probably the Cowboys.
yeah,
I'm
and that,
sorry, the Saints because it was the arch nemesis because we
yeah,
hadn't beaten them in so long.
yeah. This
But that was
game,
a while ago. That was
yeah,
almost 2 months
exactly.
ago.
I agree. So we have to have a complete game. I tell you this: the defense, as great as they've been playing, we need turnovers. I think if they
Mm-hmm.
get a turnover, I'm gonna say it like this: if the Bucs can get turnovers early in the offense, if the Bucs offense just plays average, they take care of business. The Seahawks, they're a good team, but at the same time, they're one of those teams where the record isn't, they're not as good as their record shows. They're doing good because
Mm-hmm.
coaching has gotten them far, but we have far more talent. I do believe. Do you think Brait will be able to come back for that game?
He was
Depending,
listed. I think he wasn't. Oh, yeah, I think he might be. I think
uh,
he'll be. You're going to take him anyway, so you're going to take him to Munich anyway, just to see if
yeah,
we can get him ready. Um, I don't know about Bray at the moment because I think he's going to have to be going through some stuff right now. He got knocked out, the neck injury. Um, it's probably better to let Otten really kind of take the reins and be the starter because he's going to be the under the radar guy for the moment. He's scored only 1 touchdown, and he's making a bit of a name for himself. But right now, he could still slide under the radar and do a lot of damage.
I
They
hope
just need to
so.
learn how to use him a bit better. If they can do that, then they can get a lot more success out of him.
I would,
And then just be more creative. If you're going to run the football, and I've got no problem with you running the football, but there's a reason why you're dead last in running the football. It's not because
yes,
you're blocking.
yeah, you're predictable.
It's not just the blocking, and it's not just the running back. It's a combination of all of it, and you put all that together with predictability, where you only have to do your same run fits as a defense.
Yeah,
It's easy to do, and you can get more creative with it. You get more creative with it, then you can do a lot more. Have a double team on their nose tackle.
yes. Sometimes do 2 tight end sets, especially when you're in the red zone. You got a guy like Odden, like you said, he has sneaky speed. Put him in an undercut route
Mm-hmm.
where or make him use his body to his advantage on a small corner or a slower linebacker. You got to use your mismatches. Because from what I see, the weakness on the Seahawks, their linebacking core isn't that good either. And I'm not certain about their
Now,
safeties.
that linebacking core last year, I believe one of them almost led the NFL history of single. I think he's ranked He was ranked sixth of all time tackles in a single season.
Hmm.
Um, Brooks, his name was Tyler Brooks, I think.
I'll go back and check. But this year, from what I've seen, like their defense is sound minded because they all try to play good. But again, I don't know about their pass rush. I got to check them out. But from what I
Mhm.
saw, the secondary isn't that strong either.
No,
So
I think that's where you get. That's where you're going to get your. That's why running the football is not going to probably play to your strengths.
you got to
It's
play.
like when we played against the Steelers, and that was a prime example of poor play calling. Because you can't just put that on. I can't put that one on Brady. I have to put that one on Byron Leftwich because that's game plan. That's full on game plan. How you don't take advantage. You run. The only thing that was missing from their front was TJ Watt.
Yeah,
And I would probably put TJ Watt more as a pass rusher than I would a run stopper. Not saying he can't stop the run. I'm just saying his forte is going to be. You can probably find You can probably find somebody in your team that can do what he does as a run stopper,
yeah,
not as a pass rusher. So you could find a like for like, or maybe you only go a little bit subpar on the run defense
yeah.
by bringing in another guy to
Agreed.
replace him, but you will not replace him as a pass rusher. So why would you try and run into a brick wall?
Exactly. And they have a good guy in Hayward. You and Geki wasn't ready. I agree. So when it comes to the Seahawks, light it up, throw it up. I'm telling you, if you know what game that the Bucs last year did on offense, and they took a defense apart because they passed a lot. Do you remember the second game when the Bucs played the Falcons? The first drive, they literally were passing and passing, and it was effective. That's how they need to approach this against the Seahawks. When you pass and pass, now you can get yourself in position, like you said. Don't make your run obvious. Change it up to where the secondary they still got to back up and say, you know what? What if they do a play action? What if they do this? What we want is the creativity. We want defenses. You know how it is when a defense, if they're confused or they're frustrated, we want them pointing like this and not knowing, and then we take advantage of it. So I would say, if I'm the Bucs, this one, you take deep shots, make the defense honest, even if it's not effective, make it honest, because then that's where the intermediate routes will come to life. That's where your checkdowns might be your biggest advantage. That's where you can get Rashad White and them to go off. But hey,
Absolutely.
we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, I'm just looking at their team right now. It was Jordan Brooks, their
Okay.
linebacker, number 56, 5 tackles. I'm just looking at their offense, to be honest. I'm not impressed by the figures, to be honest. Geno Smith with 212 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kenneth Walker, that leading rusher, with 51 yards for 2.8 yards a carry and a touchdown. Geno Smith got himself 5 carries for 6. Most of that's going to be scrambling. Travis Homer, 2 carries for 10 yards, average of 5. And then no one got 100 yards receiving the football. 63 for Tyler Lockett and a touchdown. DK Metcalf, 55. So they're not an explosive offense. They're a methodical offense.
Right. And you would think, well, yeah, they're playing the way their quarterback is playing right now, methodical. He's playing to be okay. He's not trying to take the big shot. So again, if for you, Slick, you're a defensive guy, how would you approach the Seahawks?
Your biggest danger man's going to be, you've got 2 danger men. They've got 2 good wideouts, right? So I'm probably leaning to cover 2 man.
Okay.
I'm leaning cover 2 man, mainly because I can get both my corners to play real physical. And I've still got the blanketing safeties over the top. I'm going to play a lot of nickel.
Okay.
May even go dime.
Maybe go dime. Okay.
Maybe go dime. It depends on what they come out in. If they come in, it depends on what sets they come in. If they come out in spreads a lot, then I'm going to go dime. If they're going to have the tight end, then I'm going to I'll sub the dime out and stick in a linebacker. I'll put a Devon White or a Levante David on that person. Pretty much all game. I'd spy occasionally. I wouldn't spy all the time. What I would do is just naturally put one of my middle linebackers in a hook seam curl drop, and he's naturally spying anyway. He's just adjusting. Right. He's just adjusting to QB. So I'd probably do something like that. I'm not saying it would work, but that's what when I'm looking at this team, I want to do that, or I want to play cover 2 in a 1 high, so a rubber coverage. So your corners are playing flats.
Mm-hmm.
Both playing flats. They can be real handsy. What you need is probably your safety, or maybe a cover 2 cloud. So the corners are playing down. Your safety's playing high, and then occasionally I'll flip it. Safeties are coming down.
Oh,
corners playing high.
I like the cover 2 man, because then it forces. I think it's going to force Metcalf, as good as he is. I don't think he's complete yet. Metcalf is one of them physical specimen kind of guys, but he doesn't have the fundamentals down yet. So if you try to make, like you said, if you just tire him out or make him just try to physically outman you, Geno Smith isn't the kind of quarterback that's going to just tear you apart. That's not his game. Like you said, methodical. And if I would say, let's get a little sneakiness in there. You know how you always say, one play, put Devin White on the edge.
Yeah.
I don't see Geno Smith seeing that coming. And if Devin White can get to him, he's either going to throw it away or he's going to eat a sack.
I have no problem with that, and I'd maybe rotate someone else in the middle backers and just play around with it. Occasionally put him in somewhere else.
I think so too.
Just drop him in. Mate, a four-man line probably wouldn't be a bad choice in this case. That way you don't have to consistently blitz all the time. Yeah. If you do, then it all depends on what they come out in. Like, it all depends on their scheme. I haven't really seen their scheme. I don't know if they have 2 tight end sets. I don't know if they have how often they've run out of 2 tight end sets, 21 personnel or 22 personnel or anything like that. So I'm not 100% sure what they run out of. But you definitely could just play. I'd probably play Raheem Nunez Roches and rotate him with somebody else, and then have Vita Vea for the most of it. And then I probably would play Nassib, and then JTS, and then maybe mix a bit of Logan Hall in as well.
I think Vita might eat again because their line isn't like top tier either.
No, they never have been.
So if you can have Vita, like you said, get 2 men, that should leave other people to get to Geno. Because remember, Geno isn't like he's not like a runner either. He'll do it every now and then, but he's gonna be like a pocket guy. And again, a methodical guy like that, you don't have to necessarily worry about him improvising.
I mean, you look at their game against the Giants, right? And the only reason this is being billed as a sexy game, so to speak, is because the Giants have been winning games.
Yes.
If the Giants have been winning games, because their roster is not particularly impressive. Their quarterback is not impressive, but they've been getting it done. A bit like the Seattle Seahawks. So when they went up there, I look at this game and I go, no one scored in the third quarter. Seattle got 10. They got New York got 7. So you go into the half at 10-7. So it's not a high scoring game to say this.
No.
To say the least. And then they both go and trade off on field goals. And the only difference that finished it off, that's all she wrote, is one converted 2 touchdowns. And I'm just having I'm telling you, they just got hot in the fourth quarter. Which you should never let a team. That tells me that if I'm from the eye test of just looking at stats and stuff, the New York Giants got wore out.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I say the NFC in general is still wide open. That's why if the Bucs can get it together on paper, we have the better team to make a deep run. I don't believe in the Giants. I believe you load the box, you take out Saquon early. Daniel Jones is not going to be able to beat you. The Cowboys, their defense, if you can wear the defense out like we do.
I mean, they did really good. Their linebacking core is probably do not run against this team. If they can hold Saquon Barkley, who's having a decent year this year, I'm just going to have quick look at his stats in a minute. He was held to 20 carries for 53 yards. He got himself a touchdown. He averaged 2.6.
Yeah, you stop him
against this team. There can be a run.
Yeah,
they're going to run first defense.
I agree. That's why I'm not really worried about the Giants. I'm not worried about Dallas and per se. I think Dallas, to beat Dallas, if we pass, it's over for them because they don't have the firepower to keep up. I'm still not a believer in Dak Prescott. If you go out to the NFC West, the 49ers to me might be the biggest threat, but they can't stay healthy. They can't stay healthy, and Garoppolo is going to be Garoppolo, so we know that
eventually. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the season.
I don't think that they're not equipped to win. They don't have a Super Bowl winning quarterback, and and the thing is, in the NFC, there aren't many teams that do.
Exactly.
Jalen Hurts is still learning to a degree, and he's really made some leaps and bounds in the last. I'd say this year has really been his big year for him.
Yes.
I don't know if that's enough to push him into a Super Bowl yet.
No, not
It's not impossible, but out of all the quarterbacks I see that are technically playoff bound teams right now, like if the playoffs ended today, so to speak, he's probably one of the better QBs from the NFC standpoint. Geno Smith probably will not win you a Super Bowl. I mean, I could be wrong, but I just don't see it happening.
I don't see it either.
Tom Brady has it in him to win a Super Bowl. It's just everything else seems to be a bit messy at the moment because he's going through some shit himself. The offensive play calling's a bit abysmal here and there. The run game's not quite there. We had a run game last year. I do not know what we've changed in that. I don't know why you would change too much anyway, because your run game's your run game.
Mm-hmm.
You probably didn't need to change too much of that. And then I look at and then the receivers are struggling with a bit of execution problems here and there.
Yeah.
You put that all together, you got a lackluster offense. But if they can get the wide receivers back on track, and what gets wide receivers back on track? Easy passes. Just give them something simple, something quick, something simple. Got the ball in their hands. That confidence comes back all of a sudden. I remember Chris Godwin had the injury to the finger.
Yeah.
And he had the KY put in, and he played, and he was okay. But they pulled it out. He was thinking about catching balls, not catching balls. Throughout the playoffs, he really dropped a lot of passes, and a lot of people were saying how uncharacteristic it was of him, and it was. Get them the ball, nice and simple, something quick, something easy. Once they get the ball in their hands, they're like, right, I got this. Yeah. Next one. That's what you do. If you have a wide receiver that's struggling with catches, you don't just you could bench him for sure, but if you got time left in the game, give him an easy catch. Give him something that he did it for Gronk. Gronk had no business catching that. The one that got him the money.
Yes,
they had no business catching. Had no business catching that. But that was like, I'm giving you the ball. I'm going to give you the easiest pass you're going to get in your life, just so we can get this for you.
Yeah.
Give someone like a Mike Evans or a Chris Godwin one of those.
Yeah.
And they will start to get hot.
Yeah, and it's this. Look at what they did for Scotty at the end of the game. He dropped it, but look how he made up for it.
Yeah.
Brady said, ignore that and let's keep it moving. Because like if you bench somebody, you damn sure better have somebody to replace him. You better have someone ready to suit up.
Benching can have a different. I mean, people can turn around and say about mental fortitude and all that crap, but benching somebody who is trying to get out of a slump can be even more detrimental, and that can make them get a bit toxic to a degree because they're like, oh, no one believes in me and I just need to get out of the slump. There's so many variables to this, and this is why some people will be at the school of thought, well, you just need to front up because you're being paid millions of dollars. But then there's the school of thought, it's like you want to try and keep someone in, you want to try and get them going because you know what they bring if you can get them hot. You get a hot Mike Evans, you're probably going to win the football game.
Oh, no doubt. At first, you're going to win because why people don't realize, even at the game-winning drive, that pass interference set it up. Because if he doesn't interfere, the game's over there because Evans is catching it. If you look at it, the ball was perfect, but Ramsey, being Ramsey, he pulled him, and like you said, and when Evans gets hot, it helps everybody because now the defense says, "Shit, he's getting hot. Let's pay attention." And then that means Godwin's going to go off. Somebody's going to go off.
Someone else is going to eat.
Yeah, but again, every number one receiver besides the Bucs, they know how to feed their receiver. They fed and they force feed sometimes because, like you said, it brings the confidence. We got to sometimes force feed Evans. Now he dropped a few this game, but like you said, make the passes simple. When
give him an easy one, and then he'll get a bit of taste for it.
Yep.
Next one, and then he'll start hauling them in.
Yes, if there's his
confidence is going up. Hey, when you're struggling and your mind says, I can't do this.
Yep.
You have to dig deep to try and go, I can do this. But if someone gives you like an easy shot and go, okay, well, here's the easy bit. And you're like, I can do this. And then you do a bit more and a bit more and a bit more. And then before you know it, like, I fucking got this.
I got it. Yeah. And this is where creativity comes in, and you have to, hey, you know what? Oh, wait, they're taking 7 yards off of you, Evans. Oh, that's disrespectful. Short pass, get those 4 or 5 yards. Oh, now he wants to play up on you and he has no safety. Take him out. It's just about, again, like you said, have fun with it. I don't think Byron is having fun with it. He's either taking it too serious or he's not taking it serious at all. Yep. But you have fun with, you have a plethora of firepower. I don't care what the media says. Oh, Julio's this, who? No. They got it. They got it. Like you said, I'm praying to God that if they are holding back and they come out in the next few games and then they show us, oh, we were holding back, this is what we're doing now.
Still be annoyed. But
I'll be annoyed, but I'll take those wins.
Thank God there was something there.
Right. I'll be like, you know what? okay, I appreciate it. Now we're winning because the next few games, we have a shot.
Moderate. Then you turn around to me and go, okay, the next time you do this and you want to hold shit back, do it in moderation.
Right.
So you have, like, say I got my entire playbook, but I'm only going to play with 50% of it up until X amount of time. Now and again, just show a little bit more of that 25%.
Right.
Don't show it all. Just show us a little bit more of that 25%. We know that a whole team will have its playbook, and most teams probably don't use 100% of it because it just doesn't work. It's not working in practice.
Right.
I'd be interested to know what works in practice because from what I've seen, the Buccaneers in preseason, they look like they were red hot.
They were. And I think but I also feel like that's where I think coaching, this is why I put so much emphasis on people and coaching, because when you're in that position and you don't put your players and you don't believe, or you don't put them in the best position, you, like you said, you can mess with their confidence or their thinking, and it can be toxic and frustrating because those players will say, well, damn, coach, we were doing this in practice and we was kicking it. Now all of a sudden you want to do this bullshit. What are we doing, coach? What are we doing,
coach? Yep.
What are we doing, coach? And you never want that. You know, as a coach, you never want your players to go, what are we doing, coach?
When we've had struggling games, my first thing to do is I bring the team together and I was like, right, it's not working right now, is it? And they're like, no. And I was like, right, what do you like? Like, what play calls do you enjoy me calling? Oh, well, we like it when you call bear fire jack. Okay, we do a bit of bear fire jack. We do a bit of this. We'll do a bit of that. But you got to show me now, guys.
That's right.
I'm going to give you the plays that you want. I'm not calling this shit. This is called by you guys. I'm calling it, but you guys are picking it. Show me that you want it. And
that's right.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And then you can turn around and go, okay, now we're going back to what I fucking want to do.
Yes. At least you, as a coach, I love that. You give them the opportunity. When you just say no, that's when resentment fills in. Like sometimes you got to let a player learn the lesson. Like you just said, you see why we don't run this? Yeah, because you can't do it. Now stick to what
I had exactly that happen. And we were getting our asses kicked, and this one of my corners turned around and went, why don't we run more Tampa? And I went, because, and I was explaining, because no one's fitting the outside run, and I wanted to turn around and you're not tackling anybody. So guess what you have to do in Tampa? You fit the outside run. So, and you're not tackling anyone. So the worst thing I can do is put that extra pressure on you, because the corners become the force defenders in Tampa 2, in the Tampa 2. So I was like, okay, let's see you do it. And then he came off after the series and I went, you see why now? And he went, what do you mean? I went, you are the guy. They're running the ball to the outside. That means they're running the football at you. That means you got to get off the block and make the tackle. You're not getting off the block. You're riding the block, and then you're scraping off, and then you're making the tackle 10 to 20 yards after. That's why I don't do it.
Yeah, sometimes you just, and that's what it is. You got to.
It was one of those games. It was over, but it was just kind of a teaching point.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got to land this puppy and let this one go. Do you want me to do it?
Yes, you go ahead. Take it away, Slick.
All right, man. AJ, tell us where we can catch you at.
You can catch me on YouTube, Flex Luthor, AJ Turnup, and then on Instagram, Flex Luthor _813, Twitter, ATurn _24, and Facebook, Anthony Turner. You got me.
We got you, brother. I will see you soon. We'll probably do post game. I don't know if I'll be able to do post game. Actually, I'll have to figure that one out. It's usually because I have children running around. Right now, they're all asleep, so it always works. But I'll see if I can get something going. I'll speak to the wife and we'll see what we can get going. Until then, we'll speak soon, brother.
Go Bucs.
Go Bucs, baby. Okay, guys, that's the end of the aftermath, where we get on a little bit of the nitty gritty and we talk about our Buccaneers. We may have won, but it wasn't pretty, and there's a lot to be learned. The Buccaneers have an opportunity to get back on track and do some things on offense, because we want to see this offense. As Buccaneers fans, we want to see the offense that we saw last year, that was so explosive, that got so many points, that had so many high points for us. Remember seeing some of those games where we just dominated teams and beating them like drums, and now we're struggling to beat teams that suck. And we're starting to become what they used to call the Succaneers. But we got to get out of that mindset. We can't go back to it. Defense is starting to turn itself around. Hopefully the offense can do it in the next one. And then we build and we build, and we hopefully get a playoff bound season, and we can build off that. Guys, there's a lot of things going wrong, and there's some things starting to go right. Let's see if we can get it all right. Bucs on me, Bucs on free. 1, 2, 3, go Bucs!